Hey folks, I am Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome to my channel. Today we are taking a look at the dividend breakdown for my self-directed stock portfolio for the month of July 2025. And I've been managing my own stock portfolio for more than 10 years now. Grown it since tiny little itty bitty money all the way up now, which is valued over $40,000. But let's go ahead and jump in and see how it performed for the month of July and how we're sitting going into the month of August and all the individual dividends that I earned. So let's get into it. Alright, so we can see we entered 2024 valued at $39,941.50. We've climbed, dropped, climbed, and had a tiny bit of an increase this month in July. We ended out the month with our portfolio valued at $42,662.25. We saw a market value increase of $257.02, just over a 60th% increase in market value. For the year total, we have gained $2,720.75, 6.83% increase in market value. We can see the chart over here as we've had a couple of low months and then increased back up to above where we dropped off in March and April. And we're doing pretty good with that. But moving right along, let's go ahead and see my strategy and how my different market sectors, how the different market sectors were impacted by increases and decreases in market value and dividend yields. So this was the sector ending the month of June. Real estate, healthcare, and bonds and ETFs were where I wanted to focus. This is my target breakdown of each one of those sectors by percent. That's how I do this. It's a percentage of my total portfolio, and then the value of that sector is increased and decreased based on the market value itself. And then this is the actual percentage breakdown that we are sitting at. Finance 24.2, tech 22.8, real estate 13, 14.9 for community staples, 9.2 for utilities, 3.8 for healthcare, 4.4% for energy, 2.7 for telecommunication, 1.1 for bonds and ETFs, 1.9 for industrials, 1.3 for consumer discretionary, and 0.6% for materials. And this is the end of March. This is the end of June. And we can see down here that I did not purchase any new shares of stock. And we know this because healthcare stocks tend to be a little bit more expensive. They're closer to that $200 range. And ending the month of July, I have $199 in cash sitting ready to be reinvested into my stock portfolio. So we're sitting on a chunk of change to reinvest. So August is going to see a big increase of shares that I purchase, mainly because healthcare shares are so expensive. But that's neither here nor there. Since we didn't buy any new stock shares, let's kind of see how it ended the month of July. So one full month after, the biggest thing that I see is the total dividends has decreased. We did see a company decrease their dividend yield last month, so I'm not surprised with that. So we dropped from $1,363.50 to $1,358.01. So about a $5 drop in dividend yield there. But our percentages are going around about the same. Finance dropped down a little bit, tech bumped up a little bit, and real estate has been holding really about 13%, 13.3%. It has had a hard couple of years now. But like I said, we've been building up our cash in my portfolio to reinvest into healthcare. So 3.9%. So it increased a little bit, increase in market value, I should say. And we can see that from the values here, $1,667 versus the $1,631. So it jumped up about $36 there. But that's kind of really a visualization of how the market sector is doing and dropping down versus performing. I mean, we can see consumer discretionary jumped up about $1. Industrials dropped down about $2. So it really helps me visualize how each one of these sectors is doing based off of the stocks in my portfolio inside of these sectors. But that's how we're doing it right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the total amount in dividends that I earned in the month of July, because it was a bigger month on the higher end. Alright, so for July 2025, I earned $132.65 in dividend income, bringing the total for the year up to $779.40, getting really close to that $400 mark. We know that stocks typically parade out every single quarter for most companies. So we've had low, high, high, low, high, high, which means the month of August is going to be a lower month of dividend yield, probably right around that $82, $83 amount. And then we'll have 2 more high months to kind of wrap up that quarter. But I think we're doing all right as far as total dividends in, and seeing that trend continue. I mean, looking at quarterly dividends, this is where you can really see how your dividend income is increasing over time, because everything is typically based off of that quarter dividend payout. So we can see all the way back in 2021, when I really started tracking things, we've seen a big jump and then pretty slight increases all the way up until where we were last quarter, quarter 2, $332.10. So slow progress, but we are still kicking it. Let's go ahead and jump into the individual dividends that I earned that make up this $132.65. Alright, dividend number 1 coming in on the 1st of July is ticker symbol KO, which is Coca-Cola. We earned $7.65 from the 15 shares that I own, and this company is performing very well, up over $276 in market value increase. And KO is one of a bigger chunks of my stock portfolio, coming in at 2.39% of total market value of my portfolio. And as we know from my last annual breakdown, we're looking at like 1 to 1.5% of the average stock company in my portfolio. So anything above that is doing pretty well. Coca-Cola has a long-standing history of small dividend increases over time and performing really well. And people like to drink their Coke and all of those Coke products. So we're doing pretty good there. Moving into dividend number 2, coming in on the 1st of July, again is ticker symbol PPL. We earned $4.09 from the 15 shares that I own, and this company is doing well, up about $113, so about 26-27% increase in market value. Dividend number 3, coming in on the 3rd of July, is ticker symbol BNDX, which is the Vanguard Total International Bond ETF. We earned 42 cents from the 4 shares that I own, and this ETF stays pretty steady, so right now it's down about 2.66% in market value, but nothing too crazy there. Dividend number 4, coming on the 8th of July, is ticker symbol EMN. We earned $1.66 from the 2 shares that I own, and we are down about $30.50 in this position. Dividend number 5, coming in on the 8th of July, is ticker symbol MRK. We earned $2.43 from the 3 shares that I own, and we're even kill on this one again with a decrease of about just shy of $13 in market value. Dividend number 6, coming on the 8th of July, is ticker symbol QSR, which is Restaurant Brands. This is a Canadian company, so we are seeing that 15% tax come out, courtesy of my brokerage account Ally, which is fantastic. I've worked with them for quite a few years now. But moving right into QSR, we're in $1.05 from the 2 shares that I own, and this company is even kill with a gain of about $8, or about 6.3% in market value. Dividend number 7, coming in on the 9th of July, is ticker symbol DIN, which is Dine Brands Global. We're in $1.02 from the 2 shares that I own, and this company is down quite significantly for a loss of 72.2% in market value, which equates to about $117 in market value loss. Average purchase price for these shares was $81.42 a share, so 81. Now they're valued at $22.61 a share, so a loss of almost $60 in each one of those shares, which is really big. That's definitely something that I need to evaluate in the future. I need to write that down, spend some time, dig into the stats of it and all of the fundamentals of this company, and evaluate if this is something that I want to hold on to. That being said, it only makes up 0.11% of my entire portfolio, so not the end of the world there, but that is a pretty significant loss, almost $80 a share. But moving on, dividend number 8 coming in on the 10th of July is ticker symbol GSK. This is a United Kingdom company, so we are seeing a 1% tax taken out courtesy of my brokerage account. We earned $2.14 from the 5 shares that I own, and we are even keel with a market gain of about 5.24%, about $9.25. Dividend number 9 coming in the 11th of July is ticker symbol MDT, which is Medtronic PLC. We earned $2.13 from the 3 shares that I own, and we are down about $52 in this position for a loss of about 16.2% in market value. That being said, they went ahead and increased their dividend though, which is always a positive sign, from 70 cents a share to 71 cents a share. So we're seeing a 1 cent increase in dividend yield, which is pretty good. This company has been pretty good about increasing their dividends consistently, even though they are a little bit in the red right now. Dividend number 10 coming in on the 14th of July is ticker symbol NDLZ. We're in $1.88 from the 4 shares that I own, and we're up about $25 in this position for a gain of about 11%. Dividend number 11 coming on the 15th of July is ticker symbol O, which is Realty Income Corporation, one of my monthly dividend earners. We're in $2.96 from the 11 shares that I own, and they went ahead and increased their dividend from 26.85 cents. You can read it to 26.09 cents. These words are really hard for me to say. Numbers are hard, but they increase their dividend a slight fraction of a penny, which is good in my book, which is how we get to that $2.96 a month. But they are doing pretty well. Even keel about 8% loss in market value, but they just increased the dividend, and they pay out every single month. And it's a real estate sector stock, so we know that they're doing down. But moving right along to dividend number 12, coming in again on the 15th of July, is ticker symbol PM, which at Phillips Morris International, we're $9.45 from the 7 shares that I own, and we are up over 109%, almost 110% increase in market value in this position for a total gain of $601.44. Average purchase price for these shares was $78.13 a piece. Current price of these shares is $164.05 a piece, so a very big spread there. Happy to see that with that. And they are a bigger company in my portfolio, coming in at 2.69%, almost 2.7% of my entire portfolio, so they are performing very well, and I'm very happy with this company. Dividend number 13 coming in on the 15th of July, ticker symbol STAG. We are 99 cents from the 8 shares that I own, and we are down just shy of $19 in this position, so not a bad loss there. Dividend number 14, the last one coming in on the 15th of July, is ticker symbol USB, which is US Bank Corp Del, for $8 for the 16 shares that I own, and we're up over $105 in this position, which equates to about 17.25% in market value increase. So bigger numbers, smaller percentage, these stocks doing pretty good. Dividend number 15 coming on the 23rd of July is ticker symbol CSCO, which is Cisco Systems. We earned 41 cents from the 1 share that I own, and we are up 39.2% in this position for a gain of about $19.18. Dividend number 16 coming in on the 29th of July is ticker symbol BNS, which is the Bank of Nova Scotia. We earned $3.39 from the 5 shares that I own, and we are up about $60.50 in this position, just shy of 28% total in market value increase. And Bank of Nova Scotia is a Canadian company, so we are seeing that 15% tax come out courtesy of my brokerage account. But moving into dividend number 17, ticker symbol NYMT. One of my long-term, I used to do swing trading with this company before they got bought out a couple years ago. But New York Mortgage Trust Incorporated, we earned $10 from the 50 shares that I own, and this company has not been performing well. I sold off half of my shares that I owned, 50 shares, last year. And have been considering selling more of them this year, just kind of waiting to see what happens, because we've got a couple other stocks in my portfolio that are not performing as well as I would like. So pulling the trigger is going to be on a tax advantage consideration here, because you get to write off losses. So that's gonna losses in a company, in a stock portfolio, I should say, is going to counteract gains in a stock portfolio. So dividend income that is taxable versus tax write-off for companies that lost money. So we're going to try and balance that out and keep our taxes to a minimum. But that will be a later analysis. Right now, we are down $933 in this position for a loss of about just under 75% in market value. To kind of put that in perspective, we bought the average purchase price of these shares $24.99 a piece. Now they are valued at $6.33. Now there's been some stock splitting and all of that in the middle, and it's been a very volatile time for this stock company. But that's where we're at. Later date, we'll review this with a couple other that are on my list. Moving into one of my monthly dividend earners, dividend number 18, coming on the 31st of July, ticker symbol EFC. We earned $7.15 from the 55 shares that I own, and we are down about 30% in market value in this position, just shy of $300 lost total, but we're doing all right. Dividend number 19 coming in the 31st of July, ticker symbol JPM, which is JP Morgan and Chase Company. We earned $9.80 from the 7 shares that I own, and this company is doing phenomenally. We have gained a total market value of over $1,113. That equates to about 116% increase in market value. And this is one of the bigger companies in my portfolio, coming in at 4.86%. Remember, the average is about 1 to 1.5. We've been seeing higher at 2.5-ish. This is 4.86% of my total stock portfolio. But they are performing well. JP Morgan is a fantastic company to invest in. Dividend number 20 coming in the 31st of July again is another one of my monthly dividend earners, ticker symbol LTC. I'm in $1.90 from the 10 shares that I own, and we are staying pretty even with a loss of about 9% in this position, about $35, so nothing too crazy there. Dividend number 21 coming in again on the 31st of July, ticker symbol NLY. We earned $35.70 from the 51 shares that I own. We put a lot of money into this company this year, so we're seeing that dividend income increase significantly with them. They are down about 11% in market value, which equates to about $132 lost. But to kind of put that in perspective, average purchase price $22.93, current price $20.33. So we're talking about, $2.60 loss per share. So not as drastic as some of the companies where we only have 1 or 2 shares and we're seeing huge losses. But moving right along. Dividend number 22 coming in on the 31st of July is ticker symbol RITM. We earned $16.55 from the 66 shares that I own, and we are up almost 29% in this position, about $175 gained in market value. And then, of course, dividend number 23, the last dividend coming in the month of July. Coming in on the 31st is ticker symbol TD, Toronto Dominion Bank out of Canada, with 15% tax taken out. We brought in $1.93 in dividend income from the 3 shares that I own, and this company is down maybe $1.40 total, so very even kill from when I bought it, doing pretty well there. But that's going to wrap up the 23 dividends that make up my total dividend income for the month of July. Let's go ahead and take these numbers and turn them in and look at how this impacts the statistics of how my portfolio is performing and the goals that I've set for myself as far as this year and future goal state of the portfolio. Let's get into it. Alright, so first number we're going to look at is the dividend yield. We know that my goal is to maintain about a 4%. We can see right off the bat, we have not come close to a 4% in market value, which means I need to evaluate my strategy. But neither here nor there. 3.2% dividend yield per month coming in at the end of July. The average dividend income per year right now is $1,358.01 per month. That is $113.17. We saw quite a big drop from last month, but this is per month, so these numbers are going to go a lot bigger with that. Per week, we saw a 10-cent drop, coming in at $26.12 per week in dividend income. Per day, that is $3.72. per hour. That is 15.5 cents, so we lost 1/10 of a penny there. And then per minute, that would be 3/10 of a penny. And then if we were to compare this dividend yield into a 40-hour work week per hour, we'd be making 65 and 3/10 cents per hour. I like to break down the daily average because I feel like that's a small fraction, pennies of an increase here, and just kind of see where we started out the year coming at $3.60. Now we're already up at $3.72 a day in dividend income. So we've increased, 12 cents in the last year, which is pretty good seeing as how we're only 7 months in. But let's go ahead and jump into the goals and see how these numbers are hitting the goals that I have for myself. We already know long-term goals. I want to have that 4% annual dividend return. We're not quite there. We're hitting about 3.2, 3.3%, so we need to bump up some of our dividend returns there. We would want to get to a portfolio value of about $600,000, which would be earning about $2,000 a month in dividend income, which is about $65.75 a day on average in dividend income. Now these are a long way off. We can see we got a lot of unmarked squares here to kind of check off. But for 2025, we've already accomplished 2 of our goals. First one we have not accomplished is to earn $1,400 in dividend income. Right now, we are just shy of $780, which is more than half, but we're 7 months in. So we're going to be riding that line real close coming towards the end of the year. We want our portfolio to reach $44,750 in market value. We're at $42,662, so we're about $2,000 shy in market value. We got time though. We've already checked off $113 in dividend income monthly average. We're at 113.17 cents. So we're doing pretty great there. And that would be, we also wanted to reach $3.62 a day in dividend income. And we are 10 cents above that. So we've been checking off these boxes as time has gone by. Our next average monthly dividend one to check off is 115. And our daily one is $3.80, and we're 8 cents away from that. So we might hit this by the end of the year, we might not. Hopefully, we're going to check off some of these as we go along. Look at that. We're going to check this one off. Look at that, 42,662, 42,250. Check that one. Let's go ahead and block that off right now, and we can accomplish this goal together. Boom. Look at that. We just checked that box together. I'm excited about that. But that is going to wrap up my dividend portfolio breakdown for the month of July, how my portfolio is performing, the dividends that I earned, how we made up all of this progress and the steps we're taking to get there. We know we've got some work to do evaluating different companies, a couple in particular, how we're going to adjust our strategy to bring our portfolio income up, because we're about 3.23% in dividend yield per month, and we want that to get to 4%. So we need to adjust my strategy investing into different sectors and different stocks in those sectors based on their dividend yield to increase that money up. So that's going to be a market analysis, different stocks inside my portfolio and stocks and companies outside of my portfolio that I might want to invest in now that I have not been investing currently. But we'll get into those videos later. Right now, I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully, you guys had a fantastic month, July, with your own stock portfolios and your own dividend returns, and that you're checking off your goals little by little, small increases, small little steps that you can accomplish to get to your long-term goals, which we all should have. But I'm going to leave this here, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye, folks.